All right. So this week I picked up a range extender, and I've worked with this unit before. This is a TP Link, and it's their higher tier model. It's a 2600. They make a 1750, but the 2600 looks kind of appealing because it's apparently made for streaming and stuff like that. And I'm a pretty hard tech user. I use a lot of stuff. And we've got some dead zones, and I'll try and spin this very lightly without screwing up my shot. But we've got a lot of property here, and we've got lots of dead zones. And honestly, it drives me nuts. I like to be able to check my email from the back of the yard or when I'm working on the garden or something like that. So I wanted to kind of really blow the Wi-Fi out a bit. So I'm going to do this in two parts. This is honestly first opening it. I do know how these work, so I'm not very worried about how it's going to work. TP Link is a fantastic company. They have amazing customer service as far as like networking devices. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Linksys, but let's just be honest. They farmed out a lot of their tech support, and it's getting rough. You call and I think everyone understands it's not a racism thing. It's just when you want tech support in America, you want to talk to a U.S. voice, somebody that you can relate to real easy, somebody you don't have translational issues with. But like I said, TP Link has always been over the top. They have amazing customer service, and if you ever have a problem, they're always right there to make it right. But anyway, there's a bottom piece missing to this. I think I dropped it honestly between the living room and here. But anyway, so this is just kind of what you get. This is what the unit looks like, and it has these antennas that fold out in kind of that pattern. Sorry, I'm holding it upside down. And so that's roughly how it would sit. The plug in the back does not rotate. I know sometimes they do, and it almost looks like it might, but as far as I know, it does not spin. It could just be really hard, and I just don't know. I haven't really read the full manual on this because, I have the disease when you work in IT, you think you know everything and you just try and do stuff without the manual. But these are really that simple. I will tell you if I could touch my phone, but it's currently recording this. If you put the app on your phone and install the app, these things are just great out of the box. I've never really had trouble. I mean, you put the app on your phone, you put this in there, and you definitely do want to take at least a brief glance at the instruction manual, if I can even get it out of the box. Because if you're not familiar with networking devices, like I said, I've worked in the business for almost 20 years now. But I mean, there's obviously a flyer in here. Sorry if I'm getting sidetracked. This is my literal first unboxing. But the quick start guide, they're always very straightforward. It's just step 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just keep following until you're done. Honestly, if you're a pretty technical person, apparently this one was a refurb. But if you're a pretty technical person, it's just pretty intuitive if you know what you're doing. Basically, step number 1 is power on, this, that, and the other. But the biggest one, I'm not sure where it is in the instructions, is get the app on your phone. That is just the simplest way to do this. The app is called Tether, so long as it hasn't changed since the last time I owned one of these. And once you have the app installed and that's all set up, it is so simple to connect. Excuse me, 2 seconds. It is so simple to connect to these devices and get them up and running. And I have them at my brother's house. My brother has a farm just down the street, and it's a huge property. And he can literally blast this Wi-Fi all the way out to the edges. He's got 2 of them, one at one end and one at the other, and they work fantastic. I think I'm probably just going to skip the use of it here just because really I can just tell you it works that great. What am I going to show you how far I can get from my Wi-Fi? I mean, you can see my property. Like once this is done, I know at the very edge of this property, and I will show you where that willow tree is out there. I will almost 100% certainly be able to get Wi-Fi out at that location, and I'm not worried about that. So, but obviously protective coating because they do have a gloss finish and they do get fingerprints. But once you set it up, configure it through the program. You can configure it wired or wirelessly in repeater mode. It probably has more modes than that, but honestly, if you're buying this, you're probably putting it in like an AP repeater mode for wireless. Most people would use it as a wireless AP. But like I said, if you have another device in another room in the house that has a wired connection, you could use this as like a game system or a TV or a desktop in one portion of the house, or if you have like an outdoor porch. Granted, it's not made for outdoor, so it would have to be covered, but you could give yourself an Ethernet port in that location. But anyway, I highly recommend it. I love the company. I love how responsive they are if you have trouble, and how they will just replace your product if you have any trouble. I'm pretty sure it comes, and I could read it and check, but it comes with a very decent time period of full warranty where if you call in, they solve your issue. But like I said, these things generally work so good, I don't see people having to make a ton of calls. They just work if you kind of know what you're doing, or if you at least read the manual pretty well. But anyway, I hope that helps. If anybody's interested, these are a very good unit. You shouldn't probably worry about the 2600 model unless you really need it to stream music or stream videos very well. And it's really mostly video. It's made for gaming systems, or if you, like I said, wanted to hook up a TV and stream video to it. I guess the bandwidth on those is just a little better. They're able to transmit data much clearer, or at a better range, I guess. But the 1750 is very good, and it actually did win PC Magazine's choice in 2019, I think. So, I mean, it's a quality product. I generally go to like PC Magazine when I'm looking for a product just to see which ones they did the hands-on with and said is great, because they don't generally screw around. But anyway, I hope that helps. If anybody has any questions, you can always comment, and let me know how I did in the video. Granted, this is literally only number 2 for me that I've done, so hope it helps.